All right, folks, welcome. Today, we're going to run through how to sell AI into big business. I spent 30 years doing this on Wall Street, selling algorithmic electronic trading software, AI-based algo wheels into global hedge funds. So today, I help companies do this. And here's what I'll tell you. If you are selling an AI widget of any type, and this applies to any technology, blockchain, data analytics, et cetera, this is the same concerns that these enterprise buyers all have, and it right now applies to AI because that's the hot new thing. But if you're selling this, I'll tell you what you need to know. There's 4 risks to account for. So number 1, AI is the most approval resistant category to sell right now into big companies. And the reason for that is because they are concerned about compliance. There are 3 other risks as well. Most founders only address one of these 4. We're going to run through them real quickly. If you do not address all 4 concerns, the deal dies. That's it. It starts with your messaging. It goes through the sales process. But basically, you have to remember that the buying committee inside these big companies have 4 concerns. I call these PACE, P-A-C-E. It's an acronym. It stands for priority. A is accountability, control, and exposure. So basically, in one at a time, prioritization risk. Priority means why now? When you are selling a tech, something that they don't have or some new cutting edge innovative thing, they want to know, where does this fit on the roadmap? For those who aren't familiar, in the technology world, there's a technology roadmap, what we are going to roll out as a firm and when. And you want to be on that roadmap if you're trying to sell into them. So where on the roadmap do you fit? Why do you deserve to be at the front of the line, basically? Right? Why does it matter this quarter? Big firms think in terms of quarters, so 3-month blocks. And if you're important but not urgent, this is the old Eisenhower matrix, you get bumped to the back of the line. That means we'll wait. Next year, we'll revisit it. If you're a founder in the tech world, you've heard that. The reason is you didn't elevate yourself in the prioritization queue. The mistake is trying to lead with capability, capacity. You can help them. You can do all these great things for them. Instead, you must lead with urgency. They need it now. Why is this not optional? That is the P, prioritization risk. The A, accountability or auditability. You want to be able to prove this, right? You're going to go in there with all these grand claims that your new AI product does this cool thing. But if it can't be measured, it can't be approved. Remember, they think as a committee. So they want to know things like, what are the numbers around data security, reliability, uptime, monitoring? The questions I got when I was selling all of the old AI stuff on Wall Street: how do we know if the thing goes off the rails? What do we do if it does? Like, what's the auditability of this tool? How do we know when there's a problem? Because you've got to remember, AI is so cool and cutting edge, and yet everyone's afraid of it. Okay. So what they need to hear is how things are validated, what is reviewable, what systems, guidance, guardrails do you have in place? If you're selling high tech, you got to address the fear. The big mistake most founders make is not even addressing it. So that's the accountability or auditability. The C is about the control. This is another form of risk. The control risk is, what if it behaves unpredictably? What do we do? So we want to be able to monitor it, yes, but now if there's a problem, this is the black box fear. That was always the term they used on Wall Street. They would say, so is this thing a black box? Can I see what it's doing? And the answer is always, if it's real AI, no. Those who follow the Claude bots, Moltbot episode from last week, AIs can go off the rails. It happens. They're agentic, some of these things. So even if your thing is a low-end tool that has a little bit of AI in it, they still will have the fear that you need to address. So that control fear, you address that, you become approvable by the committee. You don't address that, and they're not sure. What happens with unexpected output? Who owns this internally if there is a problem? You, the founder or leader of your firm, need to address this up front. So what they need to hear is that there's a human in the loop. That's the term. There are kill switches. There are guardrails. These are all this terminology. I'm not making this up. Anyone in the tech space is familiar with this. But you need to address this, because the times where I didn't address it, it was the old "trust me, bro." They just wouldn't buy. And the times where I said, a lot of the buy side, these big global hedge funds that manage money, are concerned about this thing going off the rails. And if it does, or when it does, here's the things we have in place to protect you. For those back in the old days, night trading, if that rings a bell, if anyone in the Wall Street world, went out of business because of this. So it's a real issue, and you've got to address it. And finally comes the E, exposure. Exposure is who gets blamed if this thing goes wrong. Like, let's say it does go off the rails. Whose neck is on the line? Throat to choke, as they say in the business. And this is the real silent killer, because this pertains to legal liability, your career risk if you're the champion inside, brand risk to the firm. These are major, major concerns that most founders in the tech world don't give thought to when they message this or sell this. So things like lawsuits, data privacy. Robert Herjavec was on yesterday on Instagram talking about a cybersecurity issue with an AI-driven attack. So regulatory concerns in the money world, for those who come out of the Wall Street thing like I do, that's the operative word, regulation. So the big mistake, again, is avoiding this topic. If you're a founder or a leader of a company and you're selling a cool high-tech widget, you need to address the boundaries, right? What are the liability issues? What are the scope limits? What's going to happen when things go wrong? How do we know? What's the safe deployment guidelines in place? Here's the key insight. AI anything sounds great, but it doesn't matter. I don't care what your tech is. It's AI today. It'll be blockchain tomorrow. The approval path is the same. There's a buyer committee. They've got worries, and you address those worries, you get approved. You don't address those worries, your deal just sits in limbo. So if you only address one or two of these concerns, you're going nowhere. You have to address all of them. The fix, when I would sell into AI, into software, into companies, and when you're selling your AI thing into enterprise, you need a short approval narrative. And what I mean by that is something that your champion can retell internally. You have to give them the words that they need to get this through committee. That's it. So if you're selling AI into any type of large company and your deal stalls after the demo, that's what's going on. You need to address it. There's an unresolved risk issue. Think about it. Good luck.